Welcome to Backyard Plinking. My name is Charles. I'll be your host as we go through and explore everything BB and pellet related, from air pistols to air rifles, targets, and ammo. Today we're going to do something a little different as an experiment. Now, like the sign said, we're going to be using a Daisy 1101 and the Daisy 800 Powerline series. So, well, you did that one. Well, yeah, but I'm going to change things up a little bit. Now, obviously, even if it's a Springer, we know that the brake barrels just have more than the regular pumps, any of the pump actions, or even the CO2 crossplane. Remember these? Yeah. I'm going to use these again. This time, we're going to take one of these. We're going to fire 7.4 grain out of our Daisy 1101 WS. Now, with the scope on it, if I can hit it. And then for the second part, I'm going to use the Powerline 800. Now, instead of starting with the normal everyday pellets like what I did in the first impact test, we're actually going to start 7.9 grain. We're going to move up to 9.57 grain and a 10.5. You can actually get too large of a projectile for these things, so that's about as far as I'm willing to go, at least today. The purpose is to see if we can get the same kind of results that the 1101 will give us against our formidable enemy out of the 800, simply by changing the weight, the grain, how hard it hits. Now, if you go too small, yeah, it's a whole lot faster. We'll see how this works out, and at least I'll know which way we need to go from there. So I'm gonna, you see where I marked them right there, so I'm gonna drive these into the ground, at least one of them. We'll take a shot with 1101, pull it up, stick the other one in. We'll take some shots with an 800 Powerline series. Give me just, there's our target. Drove that into the ground. How'd you do that? Get a bigger hammer. Okay. I said this first shot is just going to be with this 1101 to set the standard. Where's your prop at? Yeah, we're going to do this in Michelangelo style. Freehand. Alright, let me run and get that real quick. We're going to take a look at it. That's going to be our bench. Alright, well, a little off to the side, but it just splintered all the way through this thing, so I kind of expected that. I mean, only 10 yards. So our second volunteer goes into the ground. Now what I want to do is I'm going to try, well, if I can get the scope to cooperate. The one up at the highest point is going to be the 7.9, middle 9.5, bottom it's going to be the 10.5, and I figure I'd do it that way because that 10.5 grain is pretty heavy, so I'm sure it's going to have some fall to it. Next one up. One wooden spoon target. Alright, so there's our Powerline Daisy. I'm going to use 10 pumps of first one is the 7.9 grain from ammo. Notice I had to, you get Gammo stuff, you're going to have to write on the plastic cover lid what it is, because it's not anywhere else on the container. My handy dandy pellet assist device. And here we go. If I can hit it. Took a pretty big chunk out of the top of the handle, but I was way on the right hand side. I'm going to go ahead and we're going to try the 9.57 grain H&N Sport. I'm going to have to work it down the handle some. A little too much. I knew that was going to happen, but that's okay. Happens from time to time. All right. Wow. Okay. Then the last one is the 10.5 grain from ammo. Gammo's got some, I got some pretty good heavyweights out there. Not, you know, stuff that you can just go through and pick up off of the shelves. Not that you have to go through and get, but before long, when we do the ballistics test with them, that's going to let you know a lot. And we're going to do it from range, 25, 30 yards. See what they really do. Holy crap. Alright, give me just a second. Let me go get this thing. We'll take a look. I might be impressed. Okay. Just so, butterfingers. Just so we remember. The Daisy Powerline. The 880. With a normal, run-of-the-mill, average, everyday pellet. The one we did from 10 yards. Just like what this was. See the licks on it? This is the original one. It did break the end off, but that was it. Now, this is what happened at 10 yards, 10 pumps, when we increased the weight of the pellets. Now, the one at the top was kind of a glancing blow. Now, that was the 7.9 grain from Gammo, and it got a little piece of it, but mostly because it kind of flung it off. This one right here was the 9.5. It took a chunk into the spoon, but when the 10.5 grain from Gammo hit, it sheared everything apart. Same gun that did this with a standard pellet at 10 yards did this with a 9.5 grain and then a 10.5 grain at 10 yards. And that was a little truer shot too. Sometimes when you increase the weight, you can get a little bit more accuracy out of it. We're going to test that theory as we keep moving forward with some of the ammo stuff and the ballistic gelatin, but just thought I'd share that with you. I thought that was it's kind of nice to know. But he says, well, I got a break barrel so-and-so. I can do that in my daisy. Till next time, my name is Charles. It's been Backyard Plinking.